Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the This is the Music Meets Podcast, an independent podcast show that's dedicated to introducing you to rising indie and alternative artists from across the UK and Ireland. If you're new here, please make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on any brand new episodes, and don't be shy. Drop us a comment, as I would love to hear from you. Right then, let's get into this week's show. It's episode 156 of the This is the Music Meets podcast, and I've got a band for you today that you absolutely need to get on your radar. They're loud, they're chaotic, and they're straight out of Barry Island. Yep, the very same Barry Island, best known to the world as the home of Gavin and Stacey. But forget Uncle Bryn and Nessa for a minute, because Barry's new claim to fame is a four-piece indie rock powerhouse called Bendricks. On today's show, I'm going to chat to the band about their brand new single, their previous single releases, their big, massive show in Cardiff, and much, much more. So Bendricks, it is a very warm welcome to the This is the Music Meets podcast. Fellas, thanks very much for joining me today. How are you all doing?
Very well, Nick. Thanks for having us. And don't forget Uncle Bryn, mate. Uncle Bryn.
Absolutely. Everyone loves Uncle Bryn, right?
Yeah.
I think he makes the whole show. But yeah, obviously, really, as I say, really excited to have you here. We're recording this episode just a couple of days out before the release of the brilliant new single, Lucy. But before I chat about that, I just wanted to start off and sort of ask if you saw Oasis this summer. Obviously, they've just celebrated the 30th anniversary of Morning Glory, but you guys obviously did a cracking version of Supersonic around, must have been the beginning of July to sort of celebrate, I guess, the first day of the tour. So yeah, did you manage to get to see them live this summer?
We did, yeah. All three of us, to be fair, and the drummer is not here. We all went, and yeah, we were there holding hands, singing.
Obviously in Cardiff, presumably, yeah.
It was the second night, it was, yeah.
Yeah.
It was good, wasn't it?
We had to go on a Saturday so we could do a bit of day drinking before.
Has to be done, and I assume you had the roof on as well, right?
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
it sounded mega. I know you've seen them twice, is it? You watched them.
Yeah, at Wembley, yeah. So that was pretty awesome. It was nice to never thought it would ever happen again. So yeah, it was just nice really to be able to go and see them and to I guess really like take it all in, because it was yeah, it was very special.
It was the first time for us. Weren't we? Obviously, we're a bit on the younger side, no offense. We never had the opportunity growing up, like, so it was good. And it's massive for our type of music in general. Small bands, like, to think that the 2010s were run by One Direction, etc. We need people like this to push for the rest of us, like, so.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's fair to say that Oasis have pretty much owned the summer of 2025, or probably the year, actually, to be honest, if you think they're now off to South America, was it Japan this week or whenever it is? So yeah, fair play to them. But enough about Oasis. How then, sort of really, let's take you right back to the beginning, really. What are your earliest musical memories, growing up? Can you like maybe remember the first gig that you went to, or maybe like a single or an album that you maybe bought or streamed?
Good question, man.
Well, he's got a good story about when he was in school and one of his teachers opened his mind up to music. So I don't know if you want to tell that, but
Yeah, no. Well, Dom and I were both always we're brothers. See,
Yeah.
so we were always into music anyway, because our dad was in a band back in the 80s, like an 80s synth band, So we were always sort of into music anyway, but I had no interest of like sort of being in a band, and like wasn't obsessed with it. Dom was, but then yeah, one day I walked into my science class, and science was shit, obviously. And this one particular class, we were learning about supernovas, and to get everyone excited, he put on Champagne Supernova, and I'd never heard it. I know it's sacrilege, but I'd never heard it before. And yeah, I was just as soon as I went home, I was like, "What is that song?" So I watched it and I just watched it over and over, and I was like, "Yeah, that's sort of what got me into it." But these guys were into it before I was. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't think for me, I don't know if there's any like particular moment just growing up being surrounded by it,
yeah,
I've played guitar since I was a little kid, and I don't know, it's just always been a big part of my life.
yeah,
Yeah. With me, I remember just early adolescence, just really getting into Oasis.
It's a big word for you, that is.
Oh, sorry, mate. Yeah, I know. Sort of Oasis, Stone Roses, all that kind of stuff, and it was kind of from there. I think I joined the band with you, our first band, and then from there it was just music, 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 and nothing else really.
yeah. So how then did Bendricks start?
Good question. So it started with uh, me and a mate of mine. We had no intention of expanding out of that. It was just me and a drummer, a bit like, soft play, formerly Slaves.
Yeah, yeah,
That was the idea. Like, we thought, oh yeah, that, they're doing well, they're looking cool, so we'll do that. But then Dom was in a band for years before. So he had all the musical insight and knowledge. So one day we brought him along and said, what would you improve? And the first thing he said was, you need some low end, you need some bass. So I didn't know anyone because, I'm self-taught and I don't know, I just sort of picked up the guitar and I don't know, I didn't know anyone in the music thing. So
yeah.
I asked my best mate, Ridian, I said to him, ask for a bass for Christmas, learn it, and you can join the band. And
Father Christmas wrote me a letter, and he came with it.
yeah.
Give you a bass.
Yeah, asked me guitar, he gave me a bass.
Yeah. But then, yeah, later on, so there was three of us then, and then we went for a couple of guitarists. Didn't quite gel, to say the least. And then when we'd improved a bit, like COVID times came, so
Mm.
we got practicing. We hadn't done a gig or anything, but we were just practicing, and we got better. That's when we asked Dom, my brother. At that point, I was never going to ask him because he'd been doing the music thing.
Yeah.
He to me was
Various unsuccessful bands.
yeah, to me he was like someone that was far too experienced, etc. for
Yeah.
some for a band like us. But when we got to that level, I popped the question.
And the rest, as they say, is history. So, where did the name Bendricks come from? Is that something like relevant to like Barry Island at all, or anything, or did you just
Yeah,
like
well,
the name?
everyone knows Barry Island Beach. It's quite a nice beach, but if you go a bit further east, there's a really shit beach called Bendricks Beach.
Right. Okay.
So we spent a lot of time there, like growing up, and
Everyone goes there for a few beers and that, don't they?
yeah,
So,
yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Just for anyone to ask that Bendricks aren't shit, unlike the beach, right? Just to clarify that you're not taking you.
Yeah, he says it's shit. I say it's great. They got dinosaur footprints on that beach, like genuinely, and that's
What
quite
could you want?
it's quite sick, isn't it?
I
Yeah.
was just down with my stencil the night before.
Well, what I will say is definitely better than the beach where I live here in Southend. By the sounds of it, I can guarantee you that right now. But sorry,
Not a fan of you.
no, not at all. Well, where I am, basically, we're at the end of the Thames, like the River Thames, essentially. So you can imagine quite literally the shit that gets washed up. It's not the greatest, and yeah, it's full of tourists as well. I've become one of those grumpy people, so I try to avoid it in the summertime, to be fair. But yeah,
We'll remember that when you come and visit Barry Beach, mate.
yeah. Well, to be fair, funny enough, I've got family who live in Barry. Actually, I've been to Wales quite a lot, like growing up or whatever, but I've never actually been to Barry Island, despite them living there for yeah, I haven't been down that part of the world for quite a while, but I will definitely remember that, and I will ask them about Bendricks Beach actually.
Call in. I mean, to be fair, Barry's a small place. We're probably related to him, mate.
We'll find out. That could be a bit of an interesting one for all of us. But yeah, as I said in the intro, the new single called Lucy, and at the time of recording, it's going to be out in a couple of days' time. So, how excited are you to have new music back out there for everyone to have a little listen to?
You reckon it?
Yeah, over the moon with it, really. Happy with the recording, aren't we? And just want to get it out there. We've got a few songs lined up as well. We're just eagerly trying to get them all out there and build up the anticipation, really, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I think, yeah, obviously every band wants and have a catalogue of music. We have recorded, songs ready.
Yeah.
You want to be able to just release them all on the same day, do you know what I mean? Like, and we will at one point when we do an album, like, but before then, it's just about releasing them and like Rid said, building anticipation, building momentum. So like, yeah, it is exciting because, it's not just releasing a song, it's also like seeing how well we're doing, putting it into perspective. And when we put it out to the world and seeing people's reactions to it, it can either encourage us or, not. But it always will encourage us because someone's gonna like it, and that's what makes us happy.
Yeah, sure. And Mitch, you obviously have said quoted this song as saying that it has enough energy to power houses around the world. Where then did that sort of spark come from in, the sort of like the inspiration in terms of like writing the song, and obviously the lyrics and everything else that comes with that? And how as well does this song differ from the previous Bendricks releases?
I feel like it's probably, yeah. I mean, we try and switch up each release, really, like sort of keep them like, so some of the songs are a bit slower. Some, this one's definitely, like you said, got the energy. I don't know how it differs really. It's the same old Bendricks that you get, like, I guess, but with in terms of the idea of the song, it's sort of just without being too, giving too much away. You know, it's a concept that everyone's had been on a date maybe, or gone out and met someone, and it's not quite gelled the way in which you thought
Yeah.
it was gonna. So it's about that idea, and maybe it's sort of yeah, don't work the way you want it to, but there's their friend that maybe is a better option. I don't know.
Yeah, we won't dive in too much there into if there's anyone in the band that's talking about at all. Brilliant, love that. And in terms of like the writing and of the song, how does it work for Bendricks? Are you all contributing ideas? Is it just one of you? What's the process? Was that the same on Lucy as well?
yeah, it's a collective. We all got our part to play in creating the records. A lot of bands you tend to have one or two people,
Mm.
who do most of it, but it's quite good that we've all got our input. Generally, Mitch will come to me with some chords and a melody, and then we'll work together to put some music to that, and then take it to the boys, and then the other two then can smash the drums and play the bass onto it. So.
And obviously, Mitch, I'll come back to you on this one. Sorry that obviously you've mentioned there that the song it's not necessarily about a specific person. Do you think that's quite important to maybe leave the lyrics open for people to make their own minds up, or do you think so that they bring their own meanings to the song, or do you think it's quite important to have a meaning behind a song in there?
No, I think it's really important that pe people it is open-ended because when you listen to a song, the more relatable it is, the more of an experience you'll get out of it. Like whenever I listen to music, and I'm sure it's the same for 90% of people, I'm not gonna find much interest in maybe a song about some something I have no, sort of
Like connection to.
yeah, no sort of connection to exactly. So I think when you leave it in a concept that, like, especially with this song, a lot of them are more specific to things, yeah, but I mean, the concept leaves it easy to relate to when you listen to it, I
We want to
guess.
put people in our shoes, don't we?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sure, okay. And obviously the band you worked with Matt Butler on production for this track. And for those that don't know, he's worked with McCartney, Rush, and Deacon Blue as well. So what did he bring to the party? What did he get out of Bendricks, and how sort of I'm trying to think of the word, like how open-minded were the band to get his ideas and his input into the song?
Yeah, I think he really gets that live sort of feel into it, doesn't he? Sort of the polish, but mixed with the live. We played live in the studio first to get that sound in me that we have live. And yeah, I think his track record speaks for itself. All the names he's worked with, and yeah, I think he definitely understands this as a band, and he got it from the very first time we met him. We got what we were and our identity as a band and what we were trying to put onto record, I think.
Yeah. And obviously we mentioned the names there that he's worked with. Does that bring added pressure for you boys into going into the studio in terms of going, God, bloody hell, he's worked with, McCartney, for example. We need to be like, bring our A game, so to speak, to this session.
No, it didn't really have that pressure. I think Matt as a person is creative, but he's trying to get the best out of you. And there's no walls or barriers. It's
Mhm.
at the end of the day, we were having a laugh with him, and we spent like 2 days, like 2 full days, but then the night and the evening as well. We were all in this little house in was that for Lucy? I can't remember. One of the times we recorded with him, we were in this like house for 2 days and spent the night. Do you know what I mean? So there's no like, what's the word? Expectation from him.
Yeah.
We're all quite at ease.
I think before
I'm like class in it. So.
I think before you go and before you meet him, like there probably is that pressure a little bit, and then as soon as you meet him, it's out the window. If he's a normal guy, like he's a nice guy.
No ego comes across, is it?
Nah, no, he's a good man. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And I believe that as part of the recording of Lucy, that there was a certain night out in Cheltenham involving cocktails at the Alchemist and a flying fake tongue. So can you give us the uncut version of this story?
The radio edit.
Yeah, no, we'll have the full version. Yeah, go for it.
Where would you start? Like, so we went out with some beers and then ended up, what was it, the Alchemist? What it was called?
There's not many places open in Cheltenham on a whatever day it was.
Tuesday night or something, was it?
Something, yeah. Something.
But there was like these mad drinks and shit, and then someone picked up a little tongue off the floor. At this point, I didn't clock that was part of the drinks. I just thought it was just like on the floor. And then this prick, I can't remember why.
Well, people were flinging it around at first, weren't they? Yeah, I don't know how it got flung, but someone flung it to start, and then
multiple groups of people are throwing his tongue about.
Yeah, just sort of a game of cat. It was friendly at first, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Friendly, I guess. But then
someone took it too far today.
Yeah, some guy got a bit aggressive with his tongue throwing, I guess, and he came over. We were chatting to him for a bit, but he was just being a bit of a cock. To put it plainly. We're not.
So Mitch grabs a tongue and just, as the guy opened his mouth, he just shoved it in his mouth.
He was a bit like.
That's great. That's great. Okay, we'll leave that there just in case he comes and tries to find you or something. But yeah, it sounds like you had a few too
They
many.
do lick us.
Yeah. That's it. So, we're obviously, or not obviously, because some people may not have come across Bendricks before, but we are coming up to sort of a big milestone, really in terms of your sort of musical journey, because we're closing in on the release of your debut single, Listerine. That so far has had over 6,000 streams over on Spotify. So can you tell us sort of a little bit, like about the inspiration behind that track and just sort of as well, sort of like your reaction to knowing that you've got music out there that's obviously had a good connection with people so far.
Can't believe it's been a year.
I didn't even know. I didn't even know. Um,
Well, he wrote the words, so I'll let him tell you what it's about. Because
yeah,
why
it's not about mouthwash. But some people could do with some anyway. But
Cheers, mate. Nice one.
no, this song, I guess, yeah, like without being too, again, like want to keep it, less specific to people that we know, I guess. But it's about someone that you may have been good mates with that sort of is excluding themselves from the straight and narrow,
Mhm.
and maybe losing their way a little bit. Um, I don't know. I think
I don't think he even knows what.
No, it's a long time ago now since we wrote that song,
Yeah.
and now we're like, writing more songs all the time. It feels like, it was a long time ago now, isn't it?
It's a good tune, though. Man.
It's
Yeah.
that tune.
Yeah, great tune.
I think looking back now, it's been a year. Yeah, that's crazy because the amount of songs we have, not just unreleased, but not even near, we haven't even gone into the studio and recorded yet. We've got so much lined up, like genuinely a lot of music, that from the outside, no one has seen anything. So it's our ambition, and we will be dedicated this year to making sure that we get that out to the world, because we have a lot to do, really.
Not to
Yeah.
prove.
A lot to prove, yeah. I
We
think
got nothing to prove.
yeah, but since the first record, like a lot has changed. The music, you'll see, it's developed, it's evolved, it's richer, it's better, it's just better.
Yeah, I do look at those songs like Listerine and what was the second one, Lost on Time, and like to me, it's just like a different era. It's not the same stuff we're coming out with now. Not to say it's not as good as, but yeah, it does feel like a long time ago.
Like Message in the Snow, I think we were playing in our previous band before you even joined.
Is it? I thought I wrote that one.
I think we had the riff down. Maybe we just had the riff down, but I don't know.
We're all going to be going onto Spotify afterwards now to find out who wrote it. Do you think then that obviously since like Listerine, obviously you just mentioned Lost in Time as well. Do you feel then that the band has grown like since those releases up until where we are now with Lucy? Like in terms of like your songwriting and obviously that Mitch, you just mentioned there like that you think that some of the newest songs you've got coming up are like a little bit richer in sound. So do you feel then that the band are genuinely developing from those those early singles?
1,000,000%, yeah, 1,000,000%. I think, well, we can all say it. It's just absolutely. It's not. It's yeah. There's a phrase for it. I can't even think of. It's yeah. It's what is it? What's the phrase?
I don't know, mate. I don't know why you're looking at me.
Yeah, it's a different era, isn't it? I think it's still part of our journey, and those songs will be with us forever. But I think we've developed into something else.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So Dom, I'll come to you on this next one because we'll have a little chat about live music, really. Because obviously you've got a gig coming up on October the 24th at Clwb Ifor Bach in Cardiff. You're going to be supporting the Stray Pursuit. So what can people expect from a Bendricks live set right now?
Good question. It's just like energy, isn't it? It's how music should be. I think live music especially, has kind of lost its touch in recent years, and I think it's like being in the 90s, going back and watching a band be loud and have fun, and you know you're all in it together, us and the crowd. It's just one big party basically. So I don't know
Yeah,
if they see it the same way or not, but it's
Three
the way I see
words.
it. If I'm not driving, I'll be in the party like afterwards, but
love it.
Raw, tenacious energy.
you just pull out a dictionary.
That's it.
Three words,
We've been practicing them all night.
There's,
Brilliant, brilliant. And obviously, you also, again, I don't know why I keep saying, and obviously, I know, but maybe the listeners don't, but obviously Bendricks played Tramline's Fringe earlier on this summer. What was that experience like, being such of a sort of a buzzing festival weekend? Any standout memories at all from Sheffield?
Yeah, Sheffield was cool. Sheffield is I don't know if you've been, Mark.
Yeah, yeah. Once, many times ago to see Arctic Monkeys. Yeah, so long time ago.
Bit of a brag, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Sheffield.
It's buzzing. There's like
It's a cool place, isn't it? It's good
yeah,
music. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of bands and there's a lot of live music going on. And the closest place to us is Cardiff, and
Yeah.
as much as we love playing in Cardiff, it's not much opportunities for bands out there anymore. Venues are closing down left, right, and centre. But going up to Sheffield for me was like a breath of fresh air. It was like everyone was just loving live music again. It was class, to be fair.
we supported the assist as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
Which was
Yeah, they're a great band, the Assist, aren't they?
brilliant. Yeah.
they were good, really good.
And
Yeah.
the crowd were buzzing for that as well.
Yeah, it feels like there's more of a hardcore in our genre anyway, fan base, in Sheffield, up north in general, I guess. Like, been to Liverpool before. That was like a similar sort of vibe, everyone sort of, I don't know, you realise that, well, rock and roll is definitely not dead. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Landing it up there.
Yeah.
yeah. I wouldn't disagree. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but there just seems to be something about the Northwest. In terms of bands, not just historically, but like in the here and now as well, where it just seems to be, I don't know, it just seems to be a bit better. I think I don't know what it is, but yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you there.
Yeah, definitely.
And sort of sticking with that live sort of live theme, have you ever done a show where you sort of like think you've walked off stage and you thought, yeah, do you know what, bloody hell, lads, we've smashed that. We're on to something here.
I think we sold out Clwb Ifor Bach in Cardiff last year. Was it this time last year? I don't know when anything was, but we sold out venue in Cardiff, and it was electric. It was class, Good.
200 people, weren't there?
Just can't remember.
I think, yeah, like in general though, after a gig, I think we feel the difference between that one and our last gig. We feel like the progression. So every time I think we come off buzzing, thinking, yeah, I think you say like, oh, do you ever feel like you're onto something? Each time I think we do it, I think it feels more so that we're onto something, definitely. Like it reassures me anyway. Not that I have any doubt, because I'm clearly a narcissist, but we come off thinking we're very good. So maybe we're just delusional, but I don't think we are.
Quite recently, we supported the Stray Pursuit again in Swansea, and I thought the reaction after that was brilliant. Everyone was coming up to us saying that we were brilliant and all that, and flying
Yeah.
off. So I think gigs like that, when they sell out, big crowd, it's always just a pleasure to play, isn't it?
Yeah, sure. Okay, definitely. So, on every This Is the Music Meets podcast, we ask our guests a series of questions that are hopefully designed to be a little bit more like light-hearted, and help the listeners find out a little bit more about the artists that we are chatting to. So, the first question in this little section is, if each of you had to describe the other band member using one word, and what would you say? What would that word be?
Prick.
Stole my one. Well, I mean, do you want to start with?
Cock.
We're literally,
Penis thing,
yes,
yeah.
it's just a room full of children, clearly, but tenacious, definitely for Rydian. Like, like I said about the bass earlier, he worked hard on it, to be fair. I'd say Aaron brings, well, that's more than one word, but you can have more if you like. Aaron brings the party and the a lot of soul to the band. There we go, you can have soul. And I'd say Dom brings the lost for words on this one. Dom brings the polish side of things, his experience and adding
A level of maturity as well.
yeah.
Boring.
That sounded like you're boring. I mean, like, just
But musically as well, like, he brings a lot of polish and style to it. And then for myself, I'm going to say very good looking.
Brilliant. Okay. You're organising an after party after one of your shows. You can invite any musician that you like. Who you inviting? Who you bringing along for a bit of a bit of a party, bit of a drinking session?
Dead or alive?
Yeah, either.
It's got to be Aussie, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Crazy guy.
I don't know. Anyone in the locker you think of?
There's too many good ones, man. I'm gonna say Olivia Rodrigo, just because of a really big fan of her music.
Anyone but Taylor Swift, I think.
What's wrong with Taylor Swift? She's invited to my one as well if she's watching.
Goal for you, mate.
Well, if she was, we'd all probably we'll be all shocked, I think. So I'm going to give you the keys to the This Is the Music musical time machine. So what era of music would you like to be transported back to? And obviously why?
1960s, I think. I love the beginning of all of this, really. I think we've got a lot to thank from that era. Obviously, the standout, I'm going to say Beatles. Like, can you imagine going into the Cavern Club in the early 60s and watching the Beatles? There's not much better than that, is there, really?
No, definitely not.
What about you?
It's 90s, isn't it? Fun.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
I reckon early 80s, I reckon just before like synths properly came in, just a bit of synth guitars, just that sort of post-punk sort of era. Just yeah.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Obviously Barry Island, as we know, is obviously famous for Gavin and Stacey. Out of Gavin, Stacey, Smithy, or Nessa, or maybe even Uncle Bryn, which character are you three most like?
Dave Coaches.
Yes, brilliant. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, well, obviously, Dave.
I'll show you my hair as well. I think
That is Dave Coates.
Yeah, definitely. I'm having that. Yeah,
You
definitely.
got to do it. You got to do it.
I like this. How's it going, all right?
Bags of weed, Lewin Speed, Betty Jaws line to crack.
Rid's, what's Smithy's mate? The
Dino.
I'll go with Stacey. Probably, yeah. I reckon I literally have the same haircut as Stacey.
You're Bryn all over me.
Yeah, maybe.
Just rewinding to the start of the podcast. Obviously, I've mentioned your cover of Supersonic, but if Bendricks had to choose one cheesy pop song, what would you pick?
I've answered this before actually, and it's for me, it's Hot to Go, Chapel Rowan. I don't even know if I'd say it's cheesy to be fair, but is it Hot to Go or I always get this confused because there's a kebab house called no Hot for You. Yeah, so I'm always confused whether it's the kebab house or the song, but I like them both. But yeah, I'd like to do a cover of that. I think she's pretty good to be fair.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Um, who is the worst in the band for leaving gear behind after a gig?
It's you.
I thought it
Oh,
was
it's both of them. They're useless.
Drummers are usually pretty bad, aren't they?
Aaron's all right.
Aaron's all right,
These
yeah.
two, the amount of times I'm picking up after them.
People after the not actually a gig, like, gigs.
Yeah. We've got pretty good though. We do an idiot check after every time we go somewhere. We do an idiot check when everything's out. One quick sweep because
I don't.
no,
There's a reason.
Have you ever forgotten anything after, like, having left the stage? Or
Left
you do?
Which
Left
makes
me in
me.
Sheffield.
Have you forgotten anything?
I've lost mics loads in my life. I always use microphones, but
Cables. They're quite easy to do.
I'll never lose a guitar there, like my children. They just go everywhere with me. So
Definitely. So what's the big dream for Bendricks, in terms of, like, would it be like a festival main stage? Obviously, your debut album's often been mentioned a little bit earlier on in the podcast, or is there like a particular venue that you want to go and play? What sort of like the sort of, I guess, the sort of like medium to sort of maybe like long-term ambition of the band?
Wembley Stadium, innit?
hey, I think Pyramid Stage would be
Yeah.
for me.
I think all of it genuinely, like, just to make it our lives, like obviously it's our lives now, but to make it, to be able to make a living comfortably off it and tour the world. I think the main thing for me is really genuinely just standing in front of enough people to go, well, fucking hell, like that's pretty special. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the main thing. We've done it on a small scale, but on a large scale,
Medium.
would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. And sort of beyond sort of like Lucy and obviously the gig that we've mentioned you got coming up in Cardiff at the end of this month. What does sort of like the rest of 2025 look like, and sort of into the the beginning part of 2026? What is in the pipeline? What is in the works for Bendricks?
Well, we were obviously playing in Clwb Ifor Bach
Yeah.
in a couple of weeks. 24th, is it?
Yeah.
I think that might close us out for the year, gig wise, potentially. We're just going to be focusing on getting the next tracks ready to get back into the studio. So I know we're going to go back to the studio in the beginning of 2026. We are playing one of the big festivals in the UK next year. I can't tell you which one, but that'll be next summer. So
Yeah.
forward to that.
Want to get up north as well, don't we? A lot more. Manchester,
Yeah.
Leeds.
26 will be big, I think.
Yes, the year of the Bendricks. If we were on the
Bendricks summer.
yeah, but yeah, I mean I think the main thing is get music out there, do a load of shows, just build on what we've done already. But we've been around for just about a year, so 2026, the second coming.
Brilliant. I like the sound of that. I really, really do. Look, Dom, Mitch, and Reed, unfortunately, that is the end of the This Is the Music Meets podcast. Thanks very much for joining me for episode 156. But before I do let you go, can one of you very kindly let the This Is the Music listeners know the social media platforms that they can find Bendricks on?
Yeah, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You won't find us on X because we're not that political.
Brilliant. Look, we'll put those links up in the episode bio. as well as the link to the gig with Stray Pursuit as well on the 24th of October. Lucy is out, it's out now, I should say, as we're recording this podcast a couple of days prior to its release, but by the time everyone listens to this bit, it will be out. Look, Bendricks, thanks very much for coming on. I really enjoyed that. Massive fan of what you boys are doing. I think you've got some great tunes, and just keep doing what you're doing, and wish you all the best of luck in the world.
And to you, Mark.
Cheers,
Thank
Mark.
you very
Thank you
much.
for having us.
Cheers, mate.
It's been a pleasure.
Nice one.
Nice to meet you properly.
And all that leaves me to say is to thank everyone for listening to the latest This Is The Music Meets podcast. Please subscribe so never miss out on any brand new episodes. And if you're loving the podcast, I would love to hear from you. So do please leave a comment. If you're listening to this episode on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, then stay tuned, because at the end of this episode, you'll be able to hear the brand new single by Bendricks. It's called Lucy, and it is out now on all streaming and download platforms. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon for another This Is The Music Meets podcast. And remember, the future is bright. The future is indie.